Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Market Insights with Linux, and welcome to this new update here on Tesla. We're going to do a full update. We'll talk about some news that I think you need to know about. We'll talk about the technicals. The technicals, I think the last time we covered Tesla was somewhere like Wednesday or Tuesday in 22nd or 23rd of July. Back then, we just very much respected the technical structure, right? So the technical structure, at least in my opinion, it's very clear right here, but given the circumstances right now, I do think we can deviate that from that structure, at least temporarily, which actually brings about some opportunities. So we'll talk about that, and there's some fundamentals that I need to talk about. And there's three main points I think we need to talk about. I think either yesterday or the day before, we heard the news that Elon Musk was awarded more Tesla shares. Look, I think on the short term for the stock, that doesn't really matter that much. At this point of time, Elon Musk is not liquidating very much Tesla stock or anything, or at least not in huge amounts. So it doesn't matter that much. I would say it's leaning bullish, right? Because it ties him to the company for longer, and arguably also more. So in that sense, that's good, but that's a little bit of a non-news for at least the stock. And then we obviously, or at least what I missed, because I was away, and I will be away next week again as well, just so you know. So there's a little bit less videos, but from September on, we got some great things coming. We're going to start some series. We're going to start some weekly things, going to start a new community group, so that's very exciting. Keep your eyes out for that. But I missed the earnings, and Tesla also missed the earnings, and in general, sales numbers, at least in Europe, are dwindling quite a bit, and then obviously competition in China has been very fierce and is becoming even more fierce, even though I think the data coming from China is not as bad as the data coming from Europe. So that's pushing the price down a little bit. And then we also have a little bit of, how do you call it, fear maybe, or some uncertainty about robo-taxis. Now, look, in the news, I think that's usually quite negative about robo-taxis, right? And they're quite skeptical. Personally, I'm a little bit more optimistic, and I'm a little bit more positive about that. It could still take some time, but I think ultimately robo-taxis and autonomous vehicles with that service, I think that's a great part of the future. I think Tesla is one of the companies that's furthest in that, and I think that's going to be amazing later on. However, short term, news like that and fear around that does matter, right? So that's why I have a little bit of a fundamental bearish bias on Tesla, but ultimately, if you take a look at the daily time frame right here, you can see Tesla is respecting this range we have between 335 to the upside and 300 to the downside very, very much. Obviously, we have some deviations above and we have some deviations below, but ultimately we're respecting that level a fair bit. My internet has now gone off, so hopefully I can fix that while we're recording this video. But I expect that range to hold, right? Ultimately, what I do think is that with this fear, and just in general also some market wide and some general market bearish pressure, which we have seen. If you take a look at the US equities, the S&P 500, that's pushing down lower. I do think we can have a bearish deviation into the levels right here at 280, potentially even into that imbalance we still have at 260. And I think that's an opportunity, all right? Because like I said, even though short term there's quite a lot of negative and so some negative news and some fear around Tesla, I think ultimately it is still a strong company, not only right now, but also for the future, which is a bit of a weird thing to say. Maybe not a lot of people are saying that. I think the stock market is still very, very strong, so that indirectly also has a great impact on Tesla. And I think the technical structure, the way we have defended that level at 290, 280 so far has been great. We still have some strong support lower as well, so I don't really see, given the fundamentals and the technicals, I don't see us breaking through that definitively. All right, so that's why I think ultimately this range between 300, 335 will hold, and that we can have a deviation because of the short-term fundamentals, but that deviation will revert back into the range afterwards. So those are my thoughts on Tesla. I think I can draw on the chart again, or can I not? I don't know. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm able to do so. My Wi-Fi at this point of time is definitely not helping. I could try right now to give you a little bit of a better idea. This is Bitcoin, so that's definitely not going to help us draw the chart well. Let me quickly see if I can show you my general thoughts. Yeah, so there we have Tesla. It's trading at $308 right now. The the New York session open today was quite tumultuous. But so ultimately what I expect is some stability here. Drop into 270, in my opinion, as a buy, revert back into the range. And then for now, I think, longer term, I think ranging is the most likely scenario. But those are my thoughts. I think that's what you need to know about Tesla for now. So hopefully that helps. But for now, thank you for watching. Take care and bye.